Hello friends, this is Darsh, and as the screen says, uh, we will talk about the where keyword today. Where keyword in C sharp. So, mm, uh, you have already seen, or may not be, that the developers are using where here and there in the code, and sometimes they use int string directly, but at some locations in the same application itself they use where, right? So when when a new developer when a developer who does not know about this thing, they see where written in the application, they think like, what is the use? Why the previous developer who worked on the application used it, especially at this position, especially at this location in the application. So first of all, as the whenever an interviewer asks you, uh, what is where keyword, or what is the use of a where keyword in C sharp, so the first line you should say about it is like, where is a type whose data type gets decided by the C sharp compiler when the values are assigned to it. Okay, very simple. Very simple. Uh, who understood it, then it is also okay, but we should also give a practical to this line, right? So suppose this, I have created this empty website using the .NET framework. It's just a button click. I have taken a button and just clicked it so that it created this event. Now just go back and see that line. Where is a type whose data type gets decided by C sharp compiler when the values are assigned to it? Okay, so suppose I am writing int a is equal to 10. This is also okay. Now I am writing where b is equal to 20. So the compiler knows here that we are trying to create the int, right? Even we are also we are also confident that we are creating int here. But here, if you see what is the data type for a, it's int. Look at here, int. Now at b, b is also int. So we have not written int, right? Even then b variable is of type int. Why? The compiler did this job. Okay, so that's what that line was saying. Where is a type, okay, whose data type gets decided? This data type was decided by the C sharp compiler, okay, when we assigned this value by C sharp compiler, when the values are assigned to it. Okay, so when we gave 10, compiler decided that this b is of type int. Now look at the magic. If we say that where b is John, so the at when we give John, the compiler decided that b is of type string, right? So it's a type where variable variable of where type is a type whose data type gets decided when the values are assigned to it, right? Very good statement that we can make during an interview. And if the interviewer wants to go in deep of this statement, then it's also okay. You have already seen the practical. The second point is, there is no change in performance while using this. Okay, either you are using int a is equal to 10, or either you are using int a where a is equal to 10. Okay, in both the cases there is no difference in the performance part. You can use any. If you uh, if you want to give int, it's also okay. If you want to give where, it's also okay. But why should not we in some cases select int and in some cases we should not give where. So if we have two options, there should be a reason to select one, right? Now coming to the last point, it makes programs shorter and easier to read. Suppose you are writing a program like int this decimal b is equal to something like uh, 9, right? Float something like this. Okay, so first of all, you have this type of options. If this is not the case you want, then you can write like this. Okay, if this you don't want, this is something you don't want, you can also write your code like this. Okay, so in both the cases, the functionality will not make any difference. But if you see, for some programmers, you can say that mm, it is making the program more readable. But on the other hand, it is stopping me to understand what type of data type it is. Okay, A, B, or C. We have to go to the uh, this thing value, and then what is this value? What is the type of this value? Then we can understand that it okay. This should be an int. Okay, this should be something like something else. This should be something else. This should be string. But so it makes the program more cleaner, but in some cases it will create confusions to the new developers. They will have to figure out what type of uh, they have to hover like this, and they will have to see, okay, this is actually int, right? Because in real applications you will not see something like this. You will call something my new class or dot my function. Okay, so this function may be doing a lot of work and returning back something to you. Now you have to hover this, and you will now and then you will understand that okay, this function is must be returning an int. Okay, so in some cases it will create confusions. So why where? We have studied about all the 3 points. Now the actual question, which now the reasonable question that the interviewer will ask to you is, if you can write int a is equal to 10, if you can also write where a is equal to 10, so which one to choose over the other? The thing is, if you definitely know, the answer is, if you definitely know that the value will be of type int and int only in the future also, and you are damn sure about it, you can go ahead and use it. But in some cases, like for example, you are hitting an API, you are hitting an API and they are returning some value to you. They're regularly making changes to it. Sometimes they are returning int, sometimes they are returning int but in string format. Sometimes they are returning task, sometimes they are returning something else. So you can receive the response of that API in where, okay, and you can cast it then after that. That's okay. But if you write something like this, okay, if you write, let me tell you, if you write int API response, okay, and you are hit the API, okay, you're having one function hit the API, something like this. Okay, and sometimes this is returning a value of type this, and sometimes this is returning a value something like this. You're not sure about it, or then you can go ahead and use something like this. Okay, now in the second line you can go and cast it. Oh, my mistake. This should be where, right? So this will receive the response, either it is like this, either it is like this, and then it will try to convert it into int. In the both cases it will run. The basic fundamental is, if you want to work with the anonymous type, you are not sure about the uh, data type of a method, of the value the method is returning, then you can use where in that case. But if you are sure about the data types, int, string, float, that this will be the only case and this will not change, then you can use int string there. Okay, so that was all about using a where keyword. Okay, the definition starts from here. Where is a type whose data type gets decided by the compiler when the values are assigned to it. Okay, and the most basic one. Okay, one more thing here, let me add it here. Like, one question can also go with this: can you give null to a where type variable? Okay, or is where nullable? Okay, so let me tell you the answer. The answer will be no, not at all. Okay, let me show the practical example to you. Suppose where a is equal to 10, this is right. Where b is equal to dash, that is also right. But you cannot give where a is equal to null, because where cannot take null values, cannot assign null to a implicitly typed variable. Okay, so that can one more question by the interviewer to you. Thank you. If you like the video, you can like it, or if you want to subscribe the channel, you can subscribe it. We will continue with the good content of interview questions for C# developers especially. And if you have any suggestions, you can put it in the comment section. If if you want to ask any question, you can use the same comment section and put it there. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.